Yarrney.
Hello, welcome back to Yarrney. In this video, I will teach you how to do this puff stitch. It's a nice stitch if you want to give some texture to your project. This is a patch that I made to show you what the puff stitch look like. Of course, you don't need to make your project to be all puff stitch. You can make blankets with just random puff stitch here and there. But if you want to make something like this, I'll show you how. Let's get started. So as a starting point, you want to make a slip knot and chains. I like to do an even number of chains because if I wanted my project to be full of puff stitch one next to the other, the even starting chain will make it so that every row I can start with a single crochet and end with a single crochet. So to demonstrate how to make this puff stitch, I will chain 8 in total. I won't chain too much. I don't want this tutorial to be super long. So I'll go ahead and chain 8. So once you have your foundation chain here, you want to do single crochet in the first row. So single crochet in each chain, and you will start your single crochet at the second chain from the hook. So the loop on the hook doesn't count as a chain, of course. Now your first chain is here and the second chain is right here. So I'll insert my first single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and I'll just insert single crochet all the way until I reach the end of the chain. So basically I will have 7 stitches or 7 single crochet in total, since I started with 8 chains and I skipped the first chain. Now once your first row of single crochet is completed, you will chain 1. So in between each row, you will always chain 1 and then turn your project around, because we want to crochet from the right side towards the left, so right towards left. And like I mentioned, you want your first stitch and last stitch to be a single crochet. So this is where we will start inserting puff stitches, but the first stitch at the very base here will be a single crochet. Now the next stitch, we will do our first puff stitch, and the puff stitch, you don't want to have a tension that is too tight. So I try to loosen a little bit, and then what you're going to do is wrap the yarn around your hook and then insert your hook in the next stitch. And then pull the yarn back, and you see you have 3 loops on your hook. Generally speaking, the puff stitch, you will have to keep doing this, wrapping the yarn around your hook, inserting in the stitch to pull the yarn back. Every time you do this, you add 2 loops on your hook. So I've done this twice and I have 5 loops on my hook. If you do it 3 times, you will have 7 loops on your hook. If you do it 4 times, you will have 9 loops on your hook. It really depends on how thick your yarn is. If you have a very thick yarn, if you do it 3 times, which means 7 loops on the hook, should be fine. But I like to do it with 9 loops on my hook. So I'll do it 2 more times, wrapping the yarn around my hook, insert it in the next, in the same stitch here, pulling it back. So you see I have now 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 7 loops on my hook. I'll do it one last time, wrapping the yarn around my hook, insert it at the exact same stitch, and then pulling it back. So now I have 9 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So with these 9 loops, this is exactly why I said you shouldn't have a tension that is too tight, because you want to wrap the yarn around your hook and then pull the yarn through all 9 loops or 7 loops, depending on how thick your yarn is. So once you pull it through, you just simply insert a single crochet in the next stitch like this, and then basically you move on to the next puff stitch. So to achieve something like this, we're basically doing puff stitch, single crochet, puff stitch, single crochet alternating. And then, like I mentioned, it really depends on how thick your yarn is. So I'll do this 4 times, inserting in the same stitch. So I have 3 loops on my hook. I'll do it another time, wrapping the yarn, inserting in the same stitch, pull it back through. This is my second time. So then I'll wrap the yarn again to insert it in the same stitch, pull it back. This is my third time, which yields to 7 loops on my hook. I'll do it one last time, like this. So now I'm ready to pull the yarn through. And if you have a hard time pulling the yarn through all the loops on your hook, just be patient and wiggle your hook a little bit, and eventually you will reach the other side. And then depending on the pattern, it might happen that they will tell you to basically shut this stitch with a chain like this. This is one way of kind of closing your puff stitch, but I prefer to just insert a single crochet in the next stitch. This way you can build additional rows on top of your puff stitch row. So for this row, I'll do a last puff stitch. So wrapping the yarn, inserting in the next stitch, pull it back, then wrapping the yarn, inserting in the same stitch, pull it back. So this is my second time. I'll do it 2 more times to get my 9 loops on the hook. So I have my 9 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I'll just pull the yarn through all 9 loops. And then the very last stitch of my row here, I want it to be a single crochet. Now I'm at the end of my row. What I'll do is I'll chain 1 and then I'll turn on my project. Now for this row, before inserting puff stitches, what I like to do is add a full row of single crochet. So this will create spaces in between your puff stitches. So inserting single crochet for the entire row. And then you basically just repeat. You chain 1, turn your project around, and then you can add a full row of your puff stitch again. So remember, first stitch, always a single crochet. We start and end with a single crochet. Then you start your puff stitch. Be careful of your tension. So looping once, twice, 3, and then 4th time, and then just pull the yarn through all the loops. So you see how I struggle here? I'll just wiggle my crochet hook, and if it falls apart like this, you just restart it with a looser tension. So once, twice, and this is my 3rd time, and then 4th time pulling. Then you will insert a single crochet in between each puff stitch, just like this, and then you just continue on, and then you will reach something basically like this, or a bigger patch will look like this. So that's it. This is how you make a puff stitch. Very simple, very easy, and a good stitch if you want to add texture to your project. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more content. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.